Hello and welcome to Deep Blue Sea, the podcast. I am Mark Hot Yoga Hoffmeyer.
And I am Jay Brick to the face, Cluet.
Yes!
Welcoming you aboard Deep Blue Sea, the podcast. On this show, we've been through the entire Deep Blue Sea trilogy, scene by scene, now looking at some Deep Blue Sea adjacent films. That's films featuring sharks, aquatic action, or directed by Renny Harlin. And 2024 is the year of Harlin. This is the first of 4 films the guy has coming out this year. The Bricklayer is what we're talking about today. What is the Bricklayer? Well, as I say, it's the first of 4. Has anyone released 4 films in 1 year before? This is nuts. The first of 4 films.
He did film The Strangers back to back to back, so that's... No, but those aren't coming out all this year, are they?
I think they are.
Wow.
They supposedly are. I think if they're not, then that would be more normal. Because, like, Lord of the Rings were filmed back to back to back, and they released 1 a year. To release all of the Strangers films in 1 year... great. I'm happy for him. Like they did that. Netflix did that thing with the horror film
1989, and
that I didn't see any of. But I heard good things. But Wikipedia has them all listed as being 2024.
the year of Renny.
The year of Renny. I was thinking, how Letterboxd gives you like the most watched director of the year. If people just watch new releases and they watch every new release, then Renny's going to be everyone's director this year. He has to be. But I don't think that's the case.
It will be for us.
I mean, it will be 4 years running for me.
Can I ask you a question before we get into the plot of The
Sure.
Bricklayer? So there's a scene where Aaron Eckhart as Vale. He's talking to Patricio about just staying in shape. He's like, "Oh yeah, hot yoga," and then they both go, But hot yoga is awesome, and it like makes you sweat. Yoga's incredible. It's been great for my back. If you're a bricklayer and a former, CIA hitman, you need yoga. So was he being serious or was he joking?
I feel like he's joking, but he shouldn't be. Because I've never done hot yoga, but I've done regular yoga, but even then, just like at home. But yeah, it's great for your back. It's great for your movement. Like hot yoga, he should do hot yoga. Everyone should.
I'm just he's a movie character though, so he's just that way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's out of the game. All he does is like bricklaying, but he still is able to do the many things he does in this film, which I would now say what this film is.
For a 55-year-old, Aaron Eckhart is like, I mean, I'm not hating on 55. I hope to be that in good shape when I'm 55, but
absolutely,
like, he trained for like 3 months on his Montana ranch boxing for this, and like he just showed up looking like a 40-something-year-old. The ages are quite nebulous in this movie, but I'll let you explain the plot before we get on with that.
Yeah, so the Bricklayer is based on a book of the same name by Noah Boyd, Paul Lindsay's pen name. The Bricklayer. It's the one of, I think there's 3 books out at the moment in the Steve Vale franchise, which isn't a great just a franchise character name. I think maybe it'll pick up. I don't know. But Aaron Eckhart plays Steve Vale. He's a former CIA assassin analyst handler. It's unclear. Who goes by the name of the Bricklayer because it's also a qualified bricklayer, and that's how we meet him in this film, is laying bricks.
Yeah, if he's in Philly too, he's definitely a union member because you got to have some sort of affiliation to lay brick.
Yeah, and he's doing it on top of a skyscraper. Spoiler: this film not very deep. So he gets there's a guy that he's supposed to have killed, Clifton Collins Jr. back in the past, and wouldn't you know it, he's not dead, and he's killing people, and so Vale gets dragged back in, partnered up with Nina Dobrev's Kate, who's a junior CIA agent. Tim Blake Nelson is their boss, and isn't suspicious at all, and they go to Greece. I think they go to Greece to kind of track him down, and hilarity ensues.
That's what I was thinking.
A bunch of people get killed via bricklaying means, and it's the best. It's just the best. There's like 20 minutes of great, like, I'm the bricklayer. Sorry, how he says every line of dialogue in the film. I'm the bricklayer. I'm Steve Vale. This is how I talk all the time.
Miles Davis slapping bricks on walls.
Oh yeah, he loves jazz as well, and Nina Dobrev has never listened to music. There's that dynamic as well.
I do like, though, a lot of other movies, if this was an 80s movie, the two of them would have been an item immediately.
80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s,
2010s,
like 2020s.
But they have more of a mentor
They
relationship
do.
in
Yeah.
this. Like that was actually kind of refreshing. It's like when she comes out to be his wife, you're like, oh no, are they gonna Mr. and Mrs. Smith this? But he's like, hey kid, just teaching you the ropes. And then
He calls a kid the whole way through. There's never anything beyond like kid.
but it's oddly refreshing. It's
yeah.
I remember, like, I know that's kind of a weird thing to like in a movie, but I was like, oh, okay. They're just like mentor and mentee. And then he has a relationship with Ty, Ilfanesh Shadera. Like, they're just like, she's 38 though, and Nina Dobrev is 35, and then he's 55. But so how old is he in this movie?
Ooh, I mean, how old's Clifton Collins Jr.? Because they're like peers.
He was born in 70. He's 53.
Okay, and he says Patrizio, Oliver Trevenor, he and Aaron Eckhart's character served together, but Eckhart still calls him kid as well. So, and he was born in 81. So what was that make him? 43?
46?
Yeah, let's say mid 40s. Okay. He looks about mid 40s.
And then Ty as a station chief is what? Supposed to be in her 40s too?
Yeah. But she could just be like 40s but looking she's looked after herself.
And then Nina Dobrev, she's a junior CIA agent.
So early 30s, late 20s at a push maybe.
That seems about right.
Yeah.
There's an interesting scene where they're going to the parties like, you're too old to be my girlfriend.
You have to be my wife, told him my girlfriend.
I was like, Megan, what is that? She's like, yeah, if like he was a super rich dude, he would probably Leo DiCaprio it and have like a 22-year-old. I was like, oh.
I thought DiCaprio as well.
And yeah, and so yeah, like, but it was so blunt the way he said that to her. But listen, this movie, it's the Bricklayer.
It's the Bricklayer, yeah.
But like, listen, there's a couple really good fight scenes. There's a rain fight that is a beautiful rain fight. There's a lot of plot. Too much plot.
I couldn't keep track of I watched this twice. I couldn't keep track of the plot the first time around. My notes say like I'm too tired to work out what the hell is going on.
So I've watched this movie 3 times, Jay. 3.
It's not a competition, but okay.
You know the notes I take. You know the research I do. I spent my commute to work this morning listening to Joe Blow interviews with Renny Harlin and trying to absorb as much as I can. But this movie leaves my brain so quickly. And that's not like me. So the reason I said 3 times is because I didn't just go, oh yeah, I watched it, watched it and fell asleep. Like I watched this 3 times.
Yep.
And it's very nebulous. Like it's very, okay. So Radek, right? Radek, he was a go-between between several mafia groups. The CIA used him. His cover was blown. His family got killed, and then he went on a tear.
Steve Vale was supposed to protect his family, and he failed. And his family, his wife, played by Renny Harlin's wife, Joanna Harlin.
So, that's cool. Hey. So Vale failed.
Vale failed.
And then good old Radek goes on a killing spree.
Yep.
And then Vale's like, hey man, just play dead.
Stop it.
And then Radek's like, all right, man, I'll play dead. And then Radek goes, nah. So then Radek goes and starts killing journalists.
He's got information that would like bring down the CIA or something, and he keeps showing it to journalists and then killing them.
Yeah, which doesn't make sense.
Huh.
But
okay.
So he kills journalists to stir up anti-US propaganda to bring down the CIA because the CIA is supposedly killing these journalists. And then he wants $100 million in Bitcoin. Yep. And then he's going to go kill the Greek president?
Sure.
But he fails. And then they find out that he set it all up and the CIA is like, we saved the world.
Yes. There is too much. But then like the money is transferred to him, but then it's not.
Yeah, this film ends bad.
Right. This film ends. Aaron Eckhart wakes up in a hospital, and the film ends. And then second time I watched it, I was like, great credits. Oh no, wait, hang on. There's 20 minutes left of this film. And I couldn't remember a second of what happened after the film ended. And there's a whole other action set piece and character brought down.
Aaron Eckhart gets shot 3 times in this movie,
He
and
does.
all 3 of them are forgotten.
He gets murdered several times. He gets shot 3. He is looking bad in some shots, and he should not have survived. But a bunch of people don't. I love that he's the bricklayer, and I love when films do this, where they establish that a character has a certain set of skills, and then they're going to require those skills for throughout the film. It's like the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them trilogy. It's going to end at 3, I think. The lead is a guy who loves animals. Everything, he's all about animals. So throughout all those films, everything is like animal based. He's got to break his brother out of prison, and the prison is guarded by a giant scorpion. It's not just a regular prison; it's an animal prison.
Oh!
And everything he does and involves animals. So here, Aaron Eckhart is the bricklayer. He's a bricklayer. He lays bricks. And wouldn't you know it, they go to like a random henchman's house, and where is his secret stash? It's behind a brick. Which only he can work out because he sees the loose cement on the floor. He knows where the brick is. He pulls out his trowel. He never goes anywhere without his tools, and he pulls the brick out. And like anybody else, no, like this, he is the only person that would have picked up on that. Like it's an excellent hiding space for 99.7% of anybody else at the CIA. They had the one guy, the one brick-based guy who knows where it is.
I'm a simple man, Jay. If a movie's called The Bricklayer, I want to see 3 things. I want to see him lay brick.
Happens.
I want to see him hit somebody with a brick.
Happens.
And I want to see him kill someone with a trowel.
Twice. Happens twice.
That's all I need.
Very sharp.
And it did
Very sharp. Well, and they went above and beyond. It's not just
the squishy noises.
I mean, oh my god, the noises that people's faces make when they hit the floor in this film. My god. But yeah, so you got a guy being hit in the face with a brick. You've got a guy being stabbed with a trowel. You've got a guy being strangled with a tape measure.
Tape measurer.
You've got wet cement being dunked on a guy who then gets up and gets shot in the head. You've got a scaffolding fight. You've got a sledgehammer. His bricklaying skills are all like, I reckon I could drive through that brick wall. I know bricks. It's integral to everything he does, and I love it so much.
I want to see you and I. We need to join the Bricklayer. You'd be the engineer, and I'd be the researcher.
Sure. Okay.
And so, like, you'd be in a home, and you'd be like, "What's the structural integrity of this wall?" And then you figure it out. Yeah. And then I would be the researcher. Okay, 98% of homes stash stuff in their walls. There's brick. 38% of those houses would have debris on the ground, and like I'd be numbers.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
You'd be the engineer. That'd be the most boring movie ever.
I don't think we should make this film, the sequel to The Bricklayer.
People are like, he has superpowers. No, man, I just know percentages.
I just have a calculator.
Yeah. Where's Mark at? We have a 36% chance of getting out of here. Oh, wait, 47 now since I took the time to do this.
Oh, and he gaffer up a gunshot wound as well. I forgot. That's another bricklaying, like tool bag thing he does. Is
the next day he's fine.
He is fine. Yeah.
It went through everything. So like that's one of those bullet holes that just it like went through just meat, no muscle, no organs, no like fat, nothing.
And that happens like at the start of the fight. That's before he then fights and kills 3 guys. That involves hanging from loose guttering and fighting on an elevator shaft. And he took some punches that would have gone to that gunshot wound that would have made it worse. And he is fine.
Like he doesn't even deal with it for the rest of the movie. He's never like, oh, this is gun wound that went right through me. But you know what though?
Yeah, it's lost action.
This is action movie land. Like
sure.
So there's rom-com land, there's creature feature land. This is action land. So in this world, like in John Wick, he gets shot in the second one, and in the third one, when that doctor's doing work on him, the wound's healed already. Yeah. So, I mean, he gets hit in the head with a steel pipe during that fight.
Yep.
So this is action movie land where skulls are hard, vital organs are bunched into like the size of a craisin inside your body, so they never get hit. Or a raisin, whatever. If y'all aren't
it's about the same size, really, isn't it?
Yeah. And you just heal. You're Wolverine. Everyone's Wolverine.
Or but they're cranky. He gets hit with the pipe and dies, and the rest of the film is like a fever dream. It's a Jacob's Ladder scenario.
Y-
He's slowly dying. He just imagines the rest of the film.
Do you know what a steel pipe would do to your head?
Nothing good, I'm gonna
No.
say.
But like, Broken Arrow, people get hit with crowbars. Like getting hit with things and being fine is just in Fast Four, Vin Diesel absorbs a bullet wound that we never hear about again. So it's just, like, yeah, I think The Rock gets shot in several movies too, and he's like, I'll be all right. So
Shake it off, walk it off.
it's just action. It's action movie land. So bullet heal quickly. Steel pipes don't kill you. But that fight's a banger, and that rain it just pours on that building.
Yeah, it's great.
There's gonna be some flash floods in Philly that night.
Yeah, you gotta hope that like he's doing some fairly like decorative brickwork on the top. You gotta hope he's not like got to do some roofing while he's up there, and that's just gonna leak through. It's not the right weather to be roofing.
That is, yeah. There's gonna be floods in Philly. They can call it the Philly flood of 2023 or 2024. Absolutely. But can we talk that fight scene?
Yes, please. Let's go.
Okay, so that fight scene. It's from 9:32 to 14:50 in the movie. So it's like a 5-minute just banging fight where he takes out 3 guys. But like in the fight though, I just love that like it was Rennie's idea. That fight wasn't even there.
That should have been the first that they're like making a film called The Bricklayers about a guy kills people with bricklaying stuff. Build a film around that, not like, oh hey, he can throw a brick at someone. That shouldn't be the afterthought. What?
Like he shouldn't have a gun. He should just throw bricks.
Yeah, if he has a gun, it's like a brick catapult or something.
Like a handheld catapult that shoots bricks?
Or he's got like one of those hods that holds like cement or something that he can like whip at you and just launch a brick at people that way.
I mean, even if he just puts it in a pillowcase.
Yeah,
it's gonna
swings
hurt.
it. Yeah, like a half brick and a sock kind of thing.
Yeah,
I think it's a Glasgow dagger. I think that's called.
he goes full Home Alone 2 and just throws bricks down on people's heads. But this time they crack.
Brick, Reddick.
And then it would just go the noise. It would just lodge into a guy's skull.
Oh God, yeah.
This all bricks. Like people punch bricks and then they go ah. Just tons, just nothing but brick.
Is he?
And when he plays basketball, he just bricks.
He's a Spider-Man villain. He can turn himself into bricks. Yeah. He's the brick man.
So he fell into a generator from so there's a corrupt construction company who's like, we're just going to generate brick out of a particle accelerator. And he falls into it and he becomes Brick Man. He's slow, but he's powerful.
We're going to generate this incredibly expensive thing that's not easy to make at all. Bricks.
When are we going to make a profit on this? 2070?
I'm not going to see a profit. My kids won't, but my grandkids are going to scrape by just about.
You know how much brick? This is good. Like, I'm moving to Florida. They need this brick. I would just do entire, I would move to streets that have bricked streets.
Okay, like cobblestones.
Yeah. And then I would just, like hey, you need some extra brick? I got it.
I got this machine. It's huge. It can make you some bricks.
Have you ever watched Mr. Show?
No, I haven't.
There's this skit where this guy's like, hey guys, you want some tires? You want some speakers? And Bob Odenkirk and David Cross are like, yeah. And then they go buy speakers, like, you want some tires? And they're like, yeah. He's like, you want some dinner? And they're like, yeah. And they end up like his mom's house eating dinner. And they just keep giving him money. So like I just imagine that with bricks. With Bob Odenkirk and David Cross. Yeah. You want some bricks? Yeah.
And some cement.
And also, like, all right, so a hunk of wood hits somebody. You have scaffolding. You have an elevator that explodes.
Yes.
And you know what I love, too? It's like Rennie loves fights on the side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Like cliffhanger, the side of a mountain, on a helicopter, on a ladder.
Is there one on 12 rounds? I think.
He drops down all the scaffolding, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like he has to escape down something. Like Renny Harlin loves to drop people.
He does. I mean, Susan McAllister.
Yeah. Just drops. And also, like, Die Hard 2, there's a fight on the wing of a plane. So it makes sense that there's a fight on the outside of a building. Up in the air. On on a makeshift elevator. But it's good times, though, that scene. Because, let's see. He puts his glasses out to see the guy. Then he hits a guy in the head with a brick. and then
He
he takes
distracts the guy with a helmet.
Oh, yeah.
He uses
Which,
everything.
like he uses a work, and then like he uses judo. He like like there's a couple of sawhorses with some plywood on top of it with the plans that haven't been put away, and he slams a guy on that, stabs a guy with a trowel. But like these, what I like about this movie? Some of the henchmen are quite tough. So
Yeah.
the house fight henchman's tough. These three henchmen are pretty tough. They're completely unnecessary. I don't know why Radek would want to kill Aaron Eckhart.
It's the plot. I don't really get it either. But yeah, I mean, it's not just a house fight, Mark. That's a kitchen fight. We got a kitchen fight in a Renny Harlin film.
Another one added to the list.
Yep, and he pulls a knife. It's a teeny tiny little paring knife, and he still tries to fight with it.
He was like, "Oh no!" Yeah, when they stepped into the kitchen, I'm like, "Get it, Renny, get it."
Yeah.
And poor Nina Dobrev gets obliviated. That's a Harry Potter term, isn't it?
She forgets Aaron Eckhart exists.
She gets I feel bad for her though. She gets obliterated in that fight.
I mean, there's a bunch of times where she just kind of gets really like pushed off to the side. When they arrive at the hotel, and he's like, "Yeah, you have time for a shower, get some room service," and then he just disappears and is gone for the day because he goes to an art gallery to see Tia, and then he goes to a night rave party, and Nina Dobrev picks him up from there. But where has she been this whole time?
Renting a car, eating fries.
That's a diggle day.
I love when she goes out. She goes, "Ooh, fries." I say that like all the time.
He got her fries and allergy medication. He's a man who cares.
Yeah.
But like he goes to this art gallery where he's wearing different clothes, and then he's got a tux on, and then he's wearing different clothes again in the evening, and he at no point goes back to the hotel because that's where she is.
Well, she probably went downstairs to look for him, and then like, crap, maybe she had to go back to the airport because she didn't have a car.
She's tracking him, because that's how she finds him.
So she's probably just
watching the tracker moving. That's a boring day.
She's just doing Marv, son of Razza Frezza, fricka, just going all over the place. And then she goes and rents a car, and then he drives her. So maybe she had been following him for a while.
Yeah.
I do like the club fight too, because he uses nothing but bottles to knock dudes out.
It's great. Yeah.
And I've seen that happen. Like, I hate when bottles get involved. It's like he's just smashing them.
That's just something I've learned from reading Terry Pratchett books, where you have to be holding the bottle a certain way to break it, otherwise it just explodes in your hand. Is that something you've seen before?
Well, I had a bottle get broken on my head, but it took a guy 3 hits to the top of my head to break it.
What were you doing?
I was fighting other guys. I was being followed. So I had one guy holding my right hand. I got jumped by like 6 people. And so I had my right hand being held by one guy, and I was dragging him around while I was punching other guys. And then some guy was behind me hitting me on the head with a bottle. And it took him 3 times to break it. And I had huge lumps on my head from the 3 times. So they can't be that easy to break bottles.
I'm imagining like this being a listener's first episode and not knowing that you used to be a bouncer, and just thinking like you were in a gang or something.
Man, that was great. And then the guy was trying to stab me with the broken bottle, and he kept missing me because I was moving around too much. So he just scratched me a few times.
Wow.
I've had an interesting life, and I didn't start this. Yeah. I went upstairs. I was completely obliviated to what was going on. I saw my manager getting attacked, so I had to get his back, of course. And so then it broke out. So I didn't start it. The cops came. The cops gave all the guys in the thing restraining orders. No one said a word to me. So yeah, I didn't get any trouble. My head was hamburger. Sure. But yeah, so I mean, I didn't get any trouble. No one was like, "Mark, that was too much." Like that was just more of like a "oh crap" situation. So I don't want anyone thinking that I'm, Statham and Crank. Which, no, I don't want to be Statham. I'm not Chep Chelios material.
So I haven't seen The Beekeeper yet, but how does The Bricklayer compare up against The Beekeeper?
I haven't watched it yet, but people love The Beekeeper.
Yeah, I'm annoyed that I missed it.
And sorry for everyone for hearing that story about bottles breaking on my head, but I think it's harder than movies show.
Okay, yeah, because there's like a scene in one of the Discworld novels where like there's an old cop he's seeing someone about to break a bottle, and he's like, "I got to make sure people see that I am stood over here with 2 other things in my hands. So when this guy breaks his own hand with this bottle he's going to break, people know it was not anything to do with me." And the guy breaks the bottle and like kills himself, basically.
Interesting.
That's why I've never tried to break a bottle. It's
but
the only reason.
like compared to maybe what The Accountant, I would say I enjoyed this more than Statham's Mechanic movie.
Okay.
Because that's just a nasty little picture of Ben Foster. Like that's a grimy little grimer. Like The Hitman's Bodyguard, I probably like it more than that. That's not really a movie. The Transporter is more enjoyable.
Sure.
The Bodyguard, I would say I like a little bit more.
The Bodyguard, the
Good Costner. Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've seen that. That has action in it? I thought that was just a romance.
I mean, there's a kitchen fight, and he's protecting her.
Oh, I need to watch the film now.
But I mean, The Accountant was a big hit. You know what's interesting? The Accountant was a big hit, and they want to make a sequel. The Mechanic was a hit and had a sequel. The Transporter was a hit and had a sequel. The Beekeeper's a hit, and they're talking about a sequel. The Hitman's Bodyguard was a hit and had a sequel.
Yeah.
And The Bodyguard was a colossal success. So I mean,
no sequel.
Yeah,
but
I mean, just the Bodyguard again, or like Bodyguardin. Maybe he has to go after another pop star and help her. Interesting.
Yeah.
Bodyguard 2, another stalker.
Still guarding.
Still guarding. But these movies are popular. That's weird. There's a good market for I'm a person who does a job, and then this job comes into play when
like I have to do another job.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted more brick-based stuff. I mean, there's plenty, but that's the best parts of this film is whenever you're like, hey, I'm a bricklayer, and this is relevant now. So, and then his little speech at the end was when O'Malley's like, so why are you a bricklayer? Like, dude, you didn't see the fight. He's like, when I hold a brick in my hand, I know exactly what I can do with it. It's form over function.
I don't know what that means, but I'll go with it.
Yeah, O'Malley is terrible as a character. He's awful. When we first Nina Dobrev's he's the CIA director boss guy. When Nina Dobrev's character goes up to him with some important information, he's like, "I'm in the middle of my breakfast," and he's just standing there looking out of a window, not eating anything.
Yeah. Well, I'm a scumbag, but I'm a patriot. O'Malley comes out of boss, like the boss box.
I was born on a Tuesday, but not last Tuesday. Okay.
Jay, say that line earnestly.
So the full line is
okay. Wait. Let me give you a line. Okay. I like to lay brick, but when I lay brick, that's when the world makes sense. Well, if you're gonna make sense, you got to know that Raddick is coming for you.
That's a crap. I was born on a Tuesday, but not last Tuesday. You can't do it. It's a stupid line.
You just did it. That was amazing. I got Jay on video here, and you got into it. Line. You need to be an actor, Jay, because you channeled something there. You could be the angry boss in movies. I could see it.
I cannot perform outside of my office, unfortunately.
Son of a biscuit rancher. Next time you go out ranching and cause all the trouble on the prairie, I'm gonna give you 6-week suspension. Dang it!
Tim Burton's last line of like, well, this is all kind of cocked up, but the job's it's a success, but it's all gone badly, so let's consider this a job done. I liked that, like, because it's a job well done. It's a job done. Also, it's kind of like J.K. Simmons in Burn After Reading. I was like, come back and work out when you know what happened. Come back to me. It's like it's things happened. Let's just call it a day. Inevitably, overall, this film meant nothing. The story kind of, we're back to one basically.
And like Nina quits.
Yep. Aaron Eckhart finishes the brickwork that he started earlier.
Does he get paid twice?
I doubt it. I think because he's kind of part of the reason why it went wrong in the fight, and they had to go and fix it. I guess
they're gonna find some dead bodies up there and shell casings.
I reckon he cleared that up. I mean, one got dropped off of an elevator that exploded, so people are probably aware that things happened at that site. um,
Good point.
but they might not go up to the roof because the elevator fell from like a little below the roof. So he's going to go up there, and he's encased some people in some brickwork on the roof of that building, which he's doing like decorative brickwork on top of a skyscraper that no one will ever see.
I mean, the people in the like next skyscraper.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, and I did you get a hankering for some Arctic gin during that rain fight? Because there's a massive Arctic gin sign
Yeah,
behind.
I saw that. I'm like, that's there for a reason.
I wonder who sponsored this film.
I do like some gin.
Never had Arctic gin.
Are you a
Maybe
ginner?
I will now. It's fine. It's okay. It's not my preference. My wife likes it, so I have it now and then. But I'm more of a rum guy.
I've never been disappointed with like a good old gin laying around. Get some Hendrix, put some cucumber in it.
Okay.
Yeah, you have Hendrix gin over there.
We do. Yes, absolutely. We have.
Plop a cucumber in it.
There's a lot of gin in the UK. It's one of the UK's drinks, I think.
I just want to preface this. Make sure to like, take care of the cucumber. Don't just take a whole cucumber and put it in.
Sure.
Cut it up.
Like the neck of the bottle isn't wide enough to put this cucumber in, Mark. What are you talking about? I got just.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Also, I'm not going to put cucumber in anything because I hate cucumber.
Really?
I can't stand it. It's
Oh man.
So like,
I had a
the flavor
watermelon
of cucumber makes me want to throw this away.
cucumber mint. I love. There's a drink at this place called Kava. They have a cucumber mint drink that I love. I had a cucumber watermelon drink today.
Okay, that's two wrongs that make a right in my book.
That was so good. You're not a watermeloner?
No, can't stand it.
Why did I add watermelon? Watermeloner?
I am not a watermeloner. In terms of flavor or just eating the thing, I find it odd to it's like a sandy texture that I cannot get on board eating any kind of melon. I hate it all. I'm not a fruit guy, unfortunately. I don't eat a lot of fruit. I have scurvy.
Yeah, I've been worrying about you, Jay. Get a lemon, get some lime. Just drink some 7-Up.
I'm the guy in Waterworld who steals Kevin Costner's lime tree. I like that guy.
Wait, why?
Because that's the only.
Because you hate him so much?
Because I just don't have fruit. I've been that. He's been at the sea without fruit for such a long time.
I always think of Mitch Hedberg when I hear of lemons. He's like, I try to make Sprite or mix some lemon and limes, but there's more to it than that.
You got to carbonate it. That's about it.
Just get a soda. Just Scarlett Johansson will bring you a soda stream. Put some lemon and lime in there. I think we solved it.
There we go. That's all there is to it.
So the bricklayer.
He likes jazz. He's got his headphones. He's bopping along to some Miles Davis. The first time we see him, he's getting off a bus, just kind of bobbing his head in public to his jazz, and he likes jazz. And then this is the laziest character creation of Nina Dobrev, just not liking music.
Yeah,
like you can understand her saying like, "Oh, I've never really looked back at anything Miles that I like my Lizzo or something like that." Like just to like I don't listen to music is such an odd character trait. It's like in Pitch Perfect when Anna Kendrick's character is like, "I don't like film. I've never really seen a film." I kind of hate you a little bit now. You're in one, right? It's.
And she should have been like, "I'm a Buddy Rich guy."
Yeah, just I
like
just
the
say
drums.
you like something different, not you don't like music in general.
I have a question, Jay. 2 questions. You are an ex-CIA asset who's been burned, your family's been wiped out, and you become a supervillain.
Sure.
What hat is just going to be your only defining characteristic?
It's
like
not
so,
be a black trilby.
like,
I'll tell you that much.
like Clifton Collins Jr. just wears his hat is his entire persona in this movie.
Black trilby at a coquettish angle.
That's it. Like that's his character in this. So like you are. What would you wear?
There are 2 types of hat that I do wear. One is when it's cold, I wear a woolly hat, and one when I'm doing gardening, I wear my battered old Cheers baseball cap from when I went to Boston. Neither of those I think is going to be a definitive look. Oh, I have a third hat. I have my Alan Grant costume hat from when I went dressed as him for Halloween one year. I don't know. I'm not really a hat guy. What hat do you think I should wear? What would look good on me?
The Alan Grant hat.
Okay, there we go. I'm wearing a fedora.
Yeah, you look good. You'd pull it off.
I disagree. People thought I was dressed as Woody, which was insulting. I'd made a little dinosaur claw and everything. I feel like, hey, Woody. He's like, no. Do you see cowboy boots?
Part of me wants. I actually bought during the swing craze. I actually bought like a swing hat when swingers was popular, and I never wore it because I was never comfortable enough to have it on my head. Like it was just a tiny hat that I was like, hey, this looks like one of the hats they wore in swingers, but I never wore it. So what I would say was when I worked on film sets, I had a straw hat that completely fell apart, and I kept it together with paper clips, and like but it had a big hole on the front of it because I would walk into pop-up tents because I'm 6'4". So there's a big hole from where I would walk into things. So I would have a big straw hat.
I can see that. My last choice would be a flat cap. I don't enjoy people wearing flat caps. I don't think it's a good look. I think it's a good way of aging yourself 20 years. Just to put a flat cap on, and immediately you look 2 decades older.
I could never wear a killer hat. The killer, I could never wear that hat the blossom hats. I could not wear one of those.
My look will be a motorcycle helmet.
Oh,
actually, no, just a bicycle helmet.
Daft
That's
Punk
a
over
hat I
here.
wear every day.
Hey, that's practical. Like good during a fight.
Yeah, or a hard hat. Oh, yeah, a hard hat with like a big miner's torch on the front.
It's practical.
To blind
safe.
you.
Ah! That straw hat got so ripped apart towards the end. People hated it. They're like, "Get a new hat." I'm like, no.
Can't make a new hat.
Like, I hate that hat. Like, is that a paper clip in there? I'm like, yeah, because it was falling. I feel like every time there's a good breeze, something flew off of it. Like when you're behind a car with hay, like a hay truck.
Sure.
And hay's just flapping in the wind.
That
was my hat.
You just have the trail of hat everywhere you went.
Yeah. Where's Mark? Just follow the hat. Like that's how everyone found me, and I hated it. Like I had no privacy for a couple of years. It was a big hat to keep doing that. Now, also, what music would you listen to? So you're the bricklayer. You speak like this.
Speak like this all the time.
And you can't. You have no idea that other music exists outside of this one band or artist. Like who would you listen to?
I'm listening to one song on repeat. When I was I did GCSE art. And we had a 10-hour exam split over like 3 or 4 days, and the entire time I listened to one song on repeat, and that song was Otis Redding, "Sitting on the Dock of a Bay," on a loop forever. It's a real like tune out the world and just kind of channel into what you're doing song. So that's what I'm doing. I don't know why I listened to that on repeat for 10 hours. I had other music. Made a choice and just stuck with it.
So during the 9-hour and 30-minute flight from Philly to Greece, you could be listening to that.
Yeah, and it's like 2 minutes 40 seconds long. It's not a long song. So that's a lot of repeats.
I'd have Foghat Slow Ride.
Sure, a slightly longer song, but yeah, that works.
I only listen to Foghat. Who? Like, see, if someone said what, like Foghat,
yeah, like, makes sense.
Fair enough.
She's never heard of Miles Davis as a person. She's never heard the name Miles Davis before, let alone his music.
I'm gonna put this out there. In the United States, UK, right? Let's say the world. 83% of people probably aren't familiar with Miles Davis.
But do you reckon they've heard the name? I'm not saying they've seen the Don Cheadle film.
Like, I've heard many a name. Like, but there's so many artists that I know their names. I'm like, I know the name, but I don't know what they do.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, most times you mention a band on here, it's like I just kind of nod, but I've never heard what they sound like. I've heard of Slow Ride, Foghat. I'm aware of them. I don't know if they have other songs, but I've heard that one.
Someday some person was like, "Yeah, I really like Gus Dapperton," and I was like, "Yeah, I know him, but I'm not sure. I don't remember the song." Like I'd seen the name before, but I couldn't tie what kind of music was Gus.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of media out there. There's a lot of famous people, and they're easy to like. My dad recently, I was speaking to him whilst he was watching the BAFTAs, and he's like, they keep on cutting to David Beckham. I don't know why, and it was Bradley Cooper. But my dad's a football fan. I don't understand.
Oh, Maestro.
And my dad's like, I'm watching the BAFTAs. I haven't seen any of these films or heard of any of these films. I was like, well, because they don't go to the last time they went to cinema was Titanic, and that's fine.
Does that mean they're bad?
No, it just means they don't like they're just they don't watch
No,
film. Like he'd never heard of Maestro. Actually, I don't think he'd heard of Leonard Bernstein. So, which I think he would be on a Miles Davis kind of level. So I take it all back.
nice.
I take it all back.
Looked like you were just taking off your hat too. Your Alan Grant. No, what hat did you decide on?
You
Oh, your
decided to
hard
be a
hat.
fedora. Yeah, yeah, hard hat. That's what I'm having.
I'd have a straw hat.
But it's not gonna be like a white or a yellow hard hat. It's like gonna be like a kind of a dark grey. So I still have an element and like matte rather
With a
than
little
shiny.
skull on it.
So it's still gonna be like an element of camouflage, but not like actual camouflage.
Oh.
It's like a dark mottled grey, like a tabby, but dark grey.
You'd be great to have around. Like, we're in a sewer. What do we do? Click. And then
Yeah.
the light just shines from your head.
But
Oh,
it's bad if we're like trying to sneak up on somebody and someone shines a torch up my way because I have a giant reflective thing on the front that's just going to shine back and like, oh, he's over there. There he is.
yeah, my straw. Like, I have my huge straw hat on, and I'm 6'4". Like, where is he? I don't know. Just look above the crowd. A gigantic straw hat,
I just follow the
walking
debris.
awkwardly through a crowd. I would put it on somebody else's head, and then I'd be immediately pissed and just take it back. Like, don't worry about it. I don't want my hat leaving. He hired that guy to do that.
I think you should reinforce the hat to protect you from bottle attacks, just in case.
Like a John Wick-esque straw.
Yeah, it's like a bulletproof straw hat. They must exist somewhere. I've seen John Wick 4. I've finally seen it. So I've started reading your epic post of ranking all of the John Wick kills. It's a very long post, but I'm getting through it. John Wick 4, it's a bit much. I think like the final act is I was exhausted halfway through it. When he gets knocked back down all those steps, it's like, oh come on! Like, I felt so bad for the guy.
Oh, yeah, that was a lot. But I mean, Marco Zarrar did it, and Marco Zarrar is incredible. And then you got Scotty Atz in there.
Yeah. Like playing a much larger character than I thought he would be playing. But
I know I love the John Wick franchise because I've had to do 2 separate kill counts for 2 separate publications, and I've had to like do every reload and like multiple times, and I've counted every kill, and I still love it. Like, a franchise is good when you watch every single just second of it, and you love it still.
yeah, I mean that's what's great about you, Mark, is that you did a John Wick kill count for one publication. A different one came up to you and said, "Do this thing you've already done," and instead of just using the same data, you did it again.
Yeah,
that's what's great about you.
well, do you know why I had to do it again? Because in the fandom video, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Right.
But in the Ringer one, it was like henchman number 32
Yeah. Okay.
at the Red Circle Club. So I had to go through it all again and number each henchman for each action scene.
So the problem was the order that you received these jobs to do. If it was the other way around, then you'd have been fine.
I've been walking on sunshine. I'd have been listening to Otis Redding and like hanging out with my straw hat. It would have been an easy ride for me.
Slow ride.
I love that post. That was a good one. Yeah. That was a good one. And No Way Exhausted. I had fun I'm amazed all the titles went through. That was a good one. But yeah, Bricklayer.
Sorry. Yes. I like the dog. It's a bit of it's a nice dog. It lives under the ground. That's cute. It's like a little sick dog, and then she adopts it at the end when it's sat outside. But we go full spoilers. Patrizio's killed. His like death scene where he's like he's a trap. He's strung up. It's a very Renny Harlin sequence, isn't it? Where like
It's hilarious.
He's been hanged and strung up, and he's got bombs on him, and it's all rigged to a car battery to explode, and there's a cloak around him, and it's very easy to disarm. They just unhook it from the battery, and they're all fine. But then an army of goons show up and attacks him instead.
And then he blows. But you know what I love? They're like, it's a trap. And then there's this a car battery, not even hidden. And she looks at it and goes, it's a trap. And then you see it. But I mean, like it says, like this is Renny. I was reading interviews for this, and Aaron Eckhart was saying that he knows lenses, he knows cameras, he knows angles, and he knows action. Just ask him. He's a pro at that. So, Aaron Eckhart was just like, I trusted Renny. I didn't even go to the monitor. I'm like, you got this. And so even Nina said that. Like every actor, I feel like all the actors in all the movies that we cover with Renny, they're all just like, he knows his lenses. He knows exactly what the shot needs.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to add a lot of, what, zhuzh on it, but he just knows, like, this didn't have much of a budget. So I think I just think he knows exactly how to get what he needs and tell people what the story is. So, but we're used to that, right? Has there been subtlety in a Renny Harlin film?
I'm gonna say not much. Um, Nothing comes to mind. Um,
Like, but that's fine. Like, he has his style, right? And
yeah, not every
like,
film needs to be subtle.
I'm telling you, if you have $10 million and you need someone to make an action film, just hire Renny Harlin. Like, he'll get it done and it'll look just fine. It'll look good.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, there's no subtlety in Skip Trace. That's 12 Rounds, the least subtle film ever. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot. Um, no,
Yeah, so this movie they said cost 24 million estimated.
it got a theatrical release in America. Was it released in
But
cinemas?
no, it made like $500,000 around the world, but it did get a release.
Okay, yeah, it went straight to uh, Sky here.
No, but I mean, it'll sell to everyone, and then it'll get on, like, it'll make all of its money back. $23 million is not a lot of money, and this looks great for nowadays. Like, this looks
Yeah,
good for a $23 million
I
movie.
mean, he hasn't made a film that looks bad.
No,
That I
because he
well,
knows
there's a few I haven't watched yet, so I can't say for definite.
he
But
just knows exactly what to do, right?
yeah,
Like he just know like he knows like I know what this shot needs. Like, you'll never look at this movie and be like, this looks bad. He's never done that before. The biggest issue is maybe the budget.
yeah.
What
Well,
are your
so
thoughts overall about this movie?
I liked it. It's
Yeah.
not going to be one I go back to again and again and again. But it was better than I was expecting it to be. I think Aaron Eckhart is an actor that I'm kind of. Yeah, I'm not. I've never like watched something because he's in it, but I've never been annoyed that he's there. I always think he looks like a puppet of an Easter Island head statue. Is how I see his face. It's just the way his like the kind of the crease of his mouth and the wrinkles. It all kind of looks like a puppet to me. I don't know. There's one I can just imagine a puppet of his face looking the same. It's a weird way to describe someone. But there we are. Um, I, I I feel like people would enjoy this film a lot. It's it's not perfect, but it's entertaining. And the way he gets out of that sequence where all the goons attack him, and he just like there's all these people with laser sights on him, but he's still able to just lob a bomb at them and then shoot it and dive out of the way, and not a single person takes a shot at him. Great, fine, okay.
Action movie logic.
And then he just walks slowly away from a giant explosion. It happens.
Oh,
It's
man.
it's films.
But I do love the Mercedes in this, the AMG V8. My neighbor has one of those, and he starts it up every morning, and I just hear it. It's like,
Does he give all of the stats like Patricio does for like a solid minute
every
every
time he gets into it, he tells us. We don't even have to hear it. Like, he doesn't have to tell us. We just hear it.
Everyone,
So
gather round, gather
yep.
round. I should tell you about my car again.
The good thing is he leaves about 7 when I'm up already.
That's
So
good. Yeah,
yeah, so it never wakes me up. We had a neighbor, man, who had a Corvette, and he would get up at like 6:45 and rev it for 15 minutes.
not cool for that.
Yeah, and
We had neighbors who had like a little remote control car, but it was petrol driven, and they would race it around outside on a Sunday morning at like 5 a.m. And like that's no, don't do that. And then they moved, and it was fine.
yeah, but but that car looks awesome, man. Like, that's a really beautiful car, and it does purr. Like, that thing is loud and it sounds great. So I love that they got product placement for that. Like, that gives this movie some great production value. I think, just the whole plot with Nina. I think Dobrev is a blast.
Yep.
Yeah, man, it's fine.
I
Like,
wanted
she's
a bit
cool.
more from Clifton Collins Jr. Because
Yeah,
he's a great actor and he doesn't get a lot to do here other than just kind of be mean.
wear a
Uh,
hat.
yeah, he wears a hat and then he uses wearing a hat to make it think that someone else is wearing a hat is him. Which if you can do, if you have such a look that people think somebody else with that same look is you, that's the goal. That's where you got to be in life, isn't it? Like, this is my style. So that person, it's me. It's over there. Haha, you thought it was me. But yeah, I wanted more from him. I wanted more for Tim Blake Nelson, who is a great actor and is kind of bad in this.
Yeah, it's a paycheck, right?
Yeah.
I'll come here for a week. Rennie knows what he's doing. You know what though? You can understand why actors take this. Like, I got the script, whatever. I'll say the lines. Rennie will get me in and out.
Yeah.
Piece of cake. And like, what do you think about Ilfanesh Hadera, who's also, you need to watch this show. She's in Deception, about the magician who uses magic to catch criminals, and she's in it. And it's Jack Cutmore Scott, who's in the new Fraser Crane thing, and then you have Vinnie Jones.
Oh, you've told me about this. Yes, because I
Yeah,
don't watch anything
Deception.
with Vinnie Jones in it. Yeah, I need to.
They
to
use
watch this
magic to catch criminals,
Sure, it should be
and it
called The
lasted one
Magician.
season. She was also in Baywatch and Chirac and the Old Boy remake.
Baywatch should technically be on the list of films we cover one day on this show, but it's not. And
I will never.
be.
Don't never.
No.
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 That movie killed me. Like, it killed me. I
would
remember
never watch
watching it. Like, I was like, this is not it. Like, this movie.
Should have been stopped. This
Yeah.
is a crime.
Like, when they're on set watching some of this, were they
Just counting their money? Or like, what were they doing?
I mean, there's a jet ski. Maybe we could just talk about the jet ski action scene.
No, because then I'd need to watch any of this film.
Yeah, that's true.
I refuse.
Oh man. But no, I mean, listen, the cast's small, the action's good. You know, it's another Millennium release, so it's nice to see him working again with them. And it's exactly what it needs to be. And that's why you hire Rennie. Like, I hope people don't think this movie, they brought him in to make The Bricklayer. It doesn't have a big budget. He shot it. It looks great. Practical stunts. Good cast, good fights. Aaron Eckhart's up for the game.
He's got like a cheeky charm to him as well. Like when there's a car crash and he's like goes to Nina Rev, like, "Are you okay? You okay?" She's like, "Yeah," and he gives this big grin and he runs off after Clifton Collins Jr. He's like, "Dude, you've just been in a car crash. You're enjoying this too much." But I liked it. He was just kind of on an adrenaline high from it.
He's got some good jokes in this movie. Like, he's quite sassy. And I wish Nina would have been more like she was in Triple X3. Have you seen her in that movie?
No, I stopped after the first one in that franchise.
Oh, okay. She's like a live wire in it. She's a lot of fun. So like, I'm glad that she keeps getting work in these kind of films. So I dig it.
I've seen her in. Oh, she was in The Outlaws last year. That was a bad film. We'll move on from that. That was a bad film.
Vampire Diaries for many years.
Never saw it. She was in The Final Girls. That's the Finals is great.
Oh yeah, that's a fun movie.
Perks
Some
Being
good
a
rain in
Wallflower
that.
is an excellent film that I can't watch because it hits too hard. I think she's just one of those people that I like. I know of her, but I haven't seen a lot of stuff she's in.
Okay, so before we do how deep it is and how blue it is, what would be your villain name? Because in this movie, it's like Victor Raddick. Raddick's out there. Where's Raddick? We got to get Raddick. Like, it's nice being a villain in these movies because your name, if you're an actor, you want to be the villain in a movie where your name is said 100 times because you're constantly, in play. So what would your villain name be?
So I've recently edited our show with DJ on The Cleaner. DJ, the only person in the world who just calls me Cluet. So I already it felt weird just editing that show and like Cluet. I don't hate it. It's fine. But I feel like I already have that. Like, I have a kind of because Cluet's a relatively unusual surname. The only people that have the surname Cluet that is spelled the same as me are my family. So in the world, they're related to me. That I've found so far because we changed it like a few years ago, probably for tax reasons. I don't know. And so that works, but like half of my life feels like too.
Man, it's too much. I'd be a Hank Potato.
Hank Potato, of course.
Where's Potato? We're hot. Where's Potato?
That works.
Potato's on the run.
If your surname was like Spuddington or something, that works. It's the Potato.
But just imagine this movie, right? The Bricklayer. Potato's on the move. We got to stop Potato before he, starts a world war. Potato's running.
He's hot. Pass him on.
Where's
I'm
Potato?
gonna mash that
Where's
potato?
Hard boiled. Wait, no, that's an egg. Want to boil that potato?
Parboiled.
No. All right, Spud. No, don't call me that. All right, taters.
Your middle name is Dauphinois.
Dauphinois potato. Oh. All right, hash browns. No,
Stop it.
Where's
It's just
potato?
the potato. It's so much less cool, but it's just the potato.
Potatoes in the Mercedes. just
No, clean it up.
If Potato gets a hold of that file, we're all done.
Don't leave him in the dark. He'll start to sprout.
I once threw a potato out the backyard. Went back 2 years later. It was a lot more of them because it took root, and that's what potato does.
Yeah.
Wait, so if we leave Potato alone, he's just gonna have a lot of kids?
Yeah, new potatoes.
Yeah, new potatoes, and there's gonna be a bunch of hot new potatoes running around.
Baby potatoes.
So wait, are we saying? I'm not. You've lost me.
If you
Listen,
took up
potatoes.
He started playing a musical instrument. He's a Maris Piper.
So you threw a potato in your backyard. Well, no, it's an allegory. What? So
what?
potato doesn't have kids? No. But why didn't you just say we know what potato, you cut a potato in half, you plant it, you got another one. So should we cut off his arm? Like, I want to hear this comment. Like Tim Blake Nelson's talking about this. You know what you do with potatoes?
We need to go catch his wife, Julianne.
We gotta get potato and put him in Leavenworth. Wait, that's it. That's the movie I want. Like,
yeah.
And then I have like a big prison outfit at the end, and like our names are spelled on the back, and it's just potato.
Is it spelled like potato, or is it spelled differently?
With an E.
With an E. Okay. I'm not gonna tell you where, but with an
Yeah. But you say it like potato.
If like Forrest Gump.
Yeah. Or Samwise Gamgee.
Yeah, that's the one. Sorry. So, yes. Same accent, though, I think. Or similar way of speaking.
Imagine that movie. Where's potato at? Like, that would just slow down everything. If Potato gets his hands on those files. Oh.
He's got his eye on them. Anyway, that's enough potato puns. There's never enough potato puns.
I would not date someone called Wendy's, because Wendy's used to have potato, so like there's Wendy's potato. It's very it's like a very 90s reference. I'm old. Well, I could survive just on my carbohydrates alone, so that's good.
So how does the rain fight in this stack up against other rain fights in films? Is there any
Oh yeah.
stand out to you?
Yeah, well, all right, so I put together a list, and man, I just talked a lot about those. I don't care. So I think, do you want to do a draft, or you want to talk about other rain fights?
We can just talk about other ones, because I only did 3.
I mean, I love Blade Runner, Roy Batty with Deckard. Sure. Just like Tears in the Rain, and it's just like a beautiful rain fight. Ridley Scott, like Rutger. Rutger Hauer's also had rain fights in Lady Hawk, Blind Fury, and Split Second.
I've never even heard of Split Second.
Oh, it's a beautiful sci-fi movie, but he's a rain fighting maniac.
Sure.
And then I love Patriot Games, when Jack Ryan and Sean Miller, they fight in the rain on a boat that blows up.
That's the Sean Bean one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the Jack Ryan's kind of merged together for me.
He gets impaled with an anchor, and then the boat blows up. He dies like 8 times in it.
Sean Bean. That's what he should.
I feel like I should bring up Soldier. I should bring up Seven Samurai, but I'm going to talk about Resident Evil Afterlife. That's one I love. It's a bathroom fight. So this executioner blows up a bunch of toilets, which causes rain, like water, to fly everywhere to make it seem like rain, like a Lethal Weapon, Daredevil type vibe, or Hot Fuzz, I guess, like fake rain. But it's toilet water landing on them.
Yes.
And it's all in slow motion on James Cameron's Avatar rigs, filmed in 3D slow motion. Looks amazing. But it's just toilet water raining on them inside a bathroom.
No, thank you. Pass. I'm not into it. Well, so you sent a list of hey, like these ones, and I wanted to pick films that weren't on the list that you sent, so I picked 3 that weren't on that list. Quick and the Dead has a great rain fight. Quick and the Dead is nothing but fights.
Yeah.
one after another. But there's one great one between Sharon Stone's character and this like horrible guy, Eugene Dredd, he's just come down from sleeping with a sex worker who did not want to be into it, and so she shoots his dick off
Yeah.
from like a really far away. Like she's just shooting at him, and he manages to shoot his penis, and he doesn't notice for like initially until he gets up and just starts screaming, and then she beats him but doesn't kill him, and he just and like the fight's not over till one of them dies, but she just goes back into the saloon and has a drink, and he shoots the drink out of her hand, and that's what spurs her on to just shoot him dead, and then the guy gets mobbed by all the locals taking all of his gold teeth. So that's one I like. Another one that's like not Rain but may as well be Rain is Birds of Prey. When Harley Quinn is breaking out, I can't remember her name, breaking out the girl from prison. All the sprinklers go off.
Yeah.
So she's fighting all these inmates. I can't remember why she's fighting them. It's because she didn't let them out first. I think. Oh no, because there's a bounty on her head because of the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's just fighting with people, and it's really acrobatic. Fight in prison sprinkler water, which I guess is only slightly cleaner than the toilet water from Resident Evil Afterlife. And then I have to have an animated film in there. So Beauty and the Beast has a great rain fight between the Beast and Gaston.
Yeah.
Where the Beast just like doesn't want to fight, and Gaston just keeps fighting him, and then as soon as the Beast is like, "Fine, I'll fight you," he just murks him immediately. just like, wins second one. It's like, "You want me? I'll fight. I'll just pick you up. There you go. I'm picking you up. Is that what you wanted? You suck."
Gaston, get over yourself, man. The Batman rain fight's pretty good too, with the gang of hats.
I mean, rain fights. It's hard to make them bad.
Mm-hmm.
They're just kind of cool.
And I mean, toilet water fights are even better.
How many are there? I can't think of any others.
That's probably it.
Others. Yeah, I hope that's.
I mean, I love Lethal Weapon has the fire hydrant spraying on him. Daredevil, he hits the sprinkler so he can sense where Kingpin is. You know, Hot Fuzz has the gag too with the water sprinkling on him. Yeah, so
it's just from a sprinkler.
Yeah. Hey, so how blue and deep is this?
Well, first up, how is the Bricklayer similar to Deep Blue Sea? I have a list as always. Not very. But found some things. There's a boat. They keep on having a little flashback to the bit on the beach with the boat and the family. Heavy rain, people falling over in heavy rain. There's an elevator scene where there's like fire at one end of it because it explodes. A winch breaks in the rain and drops somebody that's on the elevator kind of thing. There's a subterranean pet in the dog that was under the floor, and there's a bird that's under the water. It's Stretch. Someone prays in a church. There's a kitchen fight. There's broken glass. Someone removes a belt in a quick movement. One of the henchmen takes his belt off to strangle Aaron Eckhart, and it doesn't go well for him. A human is used as bait to eventually explode with like something hooked up to a vehicle battery. A building explodes. There's an oven-based kitchen explosion right at the end. There's a building making loud creaking noises, which Aquatica does a lot. They talk about urinating. Patricio lists the car specs like Scoggins lists Aquatica specs. A shelving unit falls over into water during the henchman house fight. He's got like a weird pool inside of his house. And someone self-dresses an arm wound. So there's some things. It's not a lot. It's but how...
I want to be there when you're taking these notes.
It's just like pause, write thing down. Also, it's not deeply adjacent, but when they're doing the bit where they're trying to protect or they're trying to watch out for Radek and Nia Dobrev is on her earpiece, and she's just yelling at Vale, and Vale is not responding to taking it out. She is next to people. She's next to extras who have not been paid to react. So they are just like talking, and she is screaming and swearing and slamming things down centimeters away from these people. And
Same happens in the club scene too.
I love that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Aaron Eckhart at one point does like a short one knee slide across some sawdust, which is a very like action movie. I'm gonna look cool, and he moves like a foot. So how deep and how blue is it? So Mark, as I'm sure you know, Deep Blue Sea, 14.5 meters, 47.5 feet deep, 31% blue. Do you think the Bricklayer is even close to being deeper and or bluer than
No.
Deep Blue Sea? No, of course not. Like it's they go. There are only like a few seconds where it's could be deep, where Nina Dobrev takes the underground train, and the dog's underground, but barely. And then there's like stuff on land, stories up, stuff on top of a skyscraper, a little bit in a plane. This worked out being on average 16.9 meters or 95.5 feet up in the air.
Ooh.
Which means it's higher than Ravenous, less high than the Final Countdown. Final Countdown, loads of stuff in planes. So that's to be like close to that is pretty good. Blueness, no, it's a Renny Harlin film, not about sharks, therefore it's not very blue. 6.97% blue, so it's slightly bluer than House Shark, slightly less blue than Driven. Is next to another Renny Harlin film. Renny Harlin has all of these low down films. So yeah, not very deep, not very blue. It's our 85th deepest and our 77th bluest out of 98, not 97. Sorry, so we're not very. It's not bothering anything high up the table. This film, as we all expected it wouldn't. Looking forward to seeing if he makes some deep or blue moves with any of the Strangers films.
We full fight.
Maybe. Yeah, we need to do a show on those other two Strangers films as well. Yeah. So that'll do it for the Bricklayer. Mark, you got anything to plug?
Yeah, I don't know, this is movie films with licks and my other stuff that I work on. I got some fandom articles or YouTube videos out, so go check those out. Go to Fandom Entertainment on YouTube and then look at the By the Numbers episodes. I have some new ones.
Nice. And my stuff is over at lifeversusfilm.com. Not a lot there, but you can find this podcast all over social media at Deep Blue Sea Pod. I was actually we talked about it on his episode Waterworld. I was recently a guest on Justin Gott's podcast What Do You Love? The episode has now dropped, and it's not really about films, it's about me, which listen to that if you want, I guess.
We all love you, so I mean listen to it.
Sure. It's odd talking about myself. I like to talk about things other people do, but so listen to that if you like. Next week on this, email us deepblueseapod@gmail.com if you have any recommendations for deep and or blue films that we should cover in the future. Next week is Virus. Jeanette Ward joined me. Already recorded 1999's Virus with Donald Sutherland, Jamie Lee Curtis, and a Baldwin. And that's a real fun time had on that show. Look forward to listening to that one. That's a fantastic film that I'd never even heard of. But that will do it for the Bricklayer. For the Bricklayer, I've been Jake.
Yeah. And I'm Mark Potato Hoffmeyer.
And we'll Deep Blue see you next week.